Swamiji, Priya from Bareilly wants to know that people do have religious freedom in this country. So why do you object to that?
Well, as far as religious freedom is concerned, even the UN Charter, Universal Charter for Human Rights, gives you all the citizens of the world a freedom of religion. And our Indian Constitution particularly does. But where is religious freedom in the true sense of the term? When we talk about any freedom, it presupposes freedom of choice. And freedom of choice presupposes freedom of informed choice. How do you expect a 10-day-old or 10-month-old child to have an informed choice of the religion in which he gets born into? The parents impose, the priest imposes his or her religion, and that becomes some sort of a mind conditioning, as I said earlier, indoctrination, brainwashing, the rituals, dogmas, and the poor little innocent child is not allowed to even question, because these matters concerning religion are called faith, and faith here becomes equal to blind faith. So blind faithism is ruling the world, and all people, most of those who belong to this or that religion, they get born into a religion. If there has to be an informed choice, then at least people have to wait till the age of 18. Only then a person is supposed to make an informed choice. Otherwise, whatever choice is being thrust upon him or her is a fake choice, fake freedom, and we must oppose it, resist such a unfreedom, or I would like to put it even slavery of religion. This is outright slavery, servitude. Why should I accept the religion of my birth? I should be allowed to grow up to the age of 18. I should be given the freedom to choose my religion. Then only I can say, yes, I have exercised my informed choice and I have chosen this particular religion, a Hindu or a Muslim or a Sikh, or within that religion a particular sect. In this way, I can claim to have some religious freedom. Now, the world over, what we see is people are being taken into slavery of the religion. Religion is not just spiritual values. Although all religions have got core spiritual values as universal values, and they are very, very spiritual, but hardly in practice. All that is being practiced is ritualistic, dogmatic, superstition mongering, miracle mongering, and all focused on the outside building called the church, the temple, the mosque, this ritual or that ritual. The go-betweens are making a lot of money and wealth and everything out of it, power. And the rich people are very much supportive of this type of, the capitalists are very supportive of this type of a religion, because they get that herd mentality. And the state power is also very happy to co-opt all these religions because of their following. The more blind followers are there in any particular religion, the leader, political leader, is ever ready to go and sing praise of such leader, the religious persons and their congregations, without really meaning it, because his eyes are on the vote bank. Whether it is Muslim vote bank or Hindu vote bank, he is hardly concerned. So he wants to cheat people, saying that, oh, your great religion. Everywhere he plays this trick, and this way sometimes he plays one against the other. that is communal politics. But if we look deep into any of these religions being practiced as they are today, we will find a very nefarious nexus between the ruler class, ruling elite, and the capitalist class and the priestly class. Ram Manohar Lohia, the great socialist leader, would put it this way. He said there is this nexus, Napak Gatjod, he called it, between Raj, Mat and Seth. Raj means the ruling elite, Mat means the religious head, and Seth means the capitalist. So the three of them come together and form a nefarious nexus, and billions of people are just being taken for a ride in the name of religious freedom. As a matter of fact, when I was first invited by one of the oldest religious interfaith body in the world, International Association for Religious Freedom, there was a World Congress in Budapest, and they asked me to be one of the keynote speakers. In that particular speech, that's more than 20 years ago, I made this point that all this talk about religious freedom is nothing but bullshit, and therefore we must question it. And I ended my speech by saying religious freedom should mean and include freedom from religion. If a person says, well, I am 18 or 20 and I want to make an informed choice, I am neither a Hindu nor a Muslim nor a Christian, I am just a human being. Why do I need to have a religion? Humanism is my religion. I love whole of humanity as equal and I respect them. All the great prophets or all the great leaders, all the great scientists, I feel inspired by them. So this way one can say and get oneself free from religion. So freedom from religion should become integral part if there is to be any religious freedom. And I think this type of a rebellion, revolt is taking place today in the world. The number of people who are walking out of these organized, institutionalized religions is the fastest growing population today in the world. Go to the Islamic world or the Christian world or any other world, you will find people are simply walking out. And they say, too much, enough is enough. We don't want to subject ourselves to this type of slavery in the name of religious freedom. So they are being more scientific in their outlook. They are being more oriented towards getting something out of it. So they are into meditation or they are into something else or nothing else, agnostic, simple agnosticism. But they all like to be sort of advocates of truth, love, compassion and justice. And when I explain to them or somebody else explains to them that true religion means worship of the true God and God is nothing but truth. As Gandhiji said, truth is God. Swami Dayanand said earlier, truth is God. And God is all truth, all love, all compassion and justice unlimited. Practicing these attributes of God in one's life and being proactive against the forces of untruth, unfreedom, tyranny, injustice all around, that is proactive social spirituality. And that is the need of the hour. So the sooner we get rid of this religion or religiosity and this fake religious freedom, the better the world will be. So I am looking forward to a world, maybe not in my lifetime, but very soon the youth will revolt against all this hanky-panky in the name of religion, and they will create a world without religion and of course a world without borders. So I have a dream. Many people like me, they also have a dream. A world without religions, a world without borders. Thank you all very much.